Over the last 20 years, I've sent billions of emails and I'm currently generating millions in revenue from my newsletters. What I've learned along the way is that building $1 million newsletter isn't about having the biggest list, but having the right subscribers landing in the inbox and creating systems that compound over time. So in this video, I'm going to break down the exact blueprint for building a newsletter that can generate 7 figures that you can start building an audience that actually opens, clicks, and monetizes. Let's dive in. So, before you launch a newsletter, you need to get crystal clear on your niche and positioning. A lot of publishers try to be everything to everyone, and that has a negative effect on both your engagement and monetization opportunities. The more specific your niche, the easier it is to attract the right subscribers and the right sponsors. Some niches are easier to monetize than others. For instance, finance niche generates millions of dollars for a ton of laser-focused publishers. MarketBeat, the king of the industry, generates $50 million in annual revenue. You're able to do this because advertisers pay a premium to reach these audiences. Easily find CPMs in the $50 to $100 plus range, way above the industry average. Other niches like health and politics also work well. In the end, the value you get from your emails is going to come down to how engaged your audience is and the advertiser fit you have for monetization. Smaller niches can be very lucrative as well. A great way to understand your audience is to use SimilarWeb and plug in the top sites in your space. You'll get demographics, interests, and social traffic sources that tell you exactly where your audience hangs out. For example, when I launched Daily Scrape, a satire newsletter, I saw older males heavy on news and media via Twitter and Facebook. So that's where I focus my growth efforts. Once you have your niche hammered out, it's time to get your newsletter infrastructure set up and dialed in. Before you focus on growth, you need to make sure infrastructure is solid. A lot of publishers skip this and wonder why their deliverability is tanking when they can't monetize their newsletter. Doesn't matter how good your content is if your emails aren't reaching the inbox. First, decide on your email service provider, the ESP. This is the platform that manages your list and is used to send all your emails to your subscribers. Right now, Beehive is a great choice if you're just getting into the game, based on its user-friendliness, available tools, and deliverability infrastructure. I've got 2 of my newsletters running on it, including my weekly audience-rich insights. There are many great options out there as well, including Kit, Customer.io, Big Mailer, and many, many more. Most of the time, the ESP is not the deciding factor on if your emails hit the inbox. It's all the other things we will discuss. For example, there are 4 things every newsletter needs. First, authentication. Make sure SPF, DKIM, and DMARC are set up correctly, as these prove to inbox providers you're a legitimate sender. Does not matter what ESP you use, it should help you make sure these are configured properly. For DMARC specifically, use a P=reject policy, which tells providers to block anyone trying to spoof your domain. Second, one-click unsubscribe on every email. Gmail, Yahoo, and Microsoft require this now. So it's non-negotiable. Most ESPs have this implemented, but I've come across some outliers. Make sure to check with your ESP that one-click unsubscribe is integrated within their system. Third, can-spam compliance. Make sure you're including your physical address, that you're clearly identifying yourself so your subscribers know who the email is coming from, and that you are honoring all unsubscribe requests. And finally, make sure you are sending from a good shared IP pool when you start sending your newsletter. Most CSPs will start you off on shared IPs and move you to a dedicated IP as you scale and outgrow the shared IP infrastructure. Beehive has great shared IP pools, and they let you move to dedicated IPs once you hit a certain volume. It gives you full control over your own sender reputation. Now, let's talk about how to nail email deliverability. Deliverability is a percentage of emails hitting primary inbox and not the spam folder. Inbox service providers like Gmail check authentication, like what I just mentioned before. They also check your reputation based on bounces, complaints, and engagement metrics like opens, clicks, and replies. That's not all they're checking though. They're also looking for content flags, stuff like free in all caps with 3 exclamation marks. Fingerprinted content, which is the same content sent by numerous different email senders. The reputation of the links within your emails. That's right, not just your own reputation that can get you bounced from the inbox. Because of these filters, I've seen newsletters lose more than half their revenue just because their emails were hitting spam instead of the inbox. Now, that's not the end all. If your deliverability isn't great, the good news is you can fix it. Start by testing every campaign with Mail Tester, the free tool that scores your email from 1 to 10 and flags any issues. If your score is below 9, look at what's been flagged. Usually it's missing authentication, has spammy words, or there are broken links inside the email. Also, check Google Postmaster tools and look at your spam complaint rate. You want to stay under 0.1%, you want to consistently hit the inbox. If you're above that, it usually means you're emailing people who don't want to hear from you. The most important step, set up your base sending segment. The base sending segment is a core group of engaged subscribers you consistently email, typically recent openers and clickers, as well as recent subscribers, so you protect deliverability while maximizing engagement. It's designed to send only to people showing active interest and ensures strong inbox placement and stable domain reputation as you scale. Most deliverability problems come from either technical issues, which email tester will catch, or sending to the wrong people, which Postmaster will reveal, or your base sending segment will clean out. Now, please listen to this very closely. The goal is always quality over quantity. A smaller engaged list will outperform 100,000 dead emails because inbox providers don't care how big your list is. They care if people are actually opening and clicking. So as you build your newsletter, focus on attracting the right subscribers, not just any subscriber. In terms of how to drive traffic to your website to get people to sign up to your newsletter, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Look at where your audience already hangs out. For my newsletter Daily Scrape, I saw older males were heavy on Facebook, so that's where I targeted my ads. For this, you can use SimilarWeb to find social traffic sources for top sites in your niche and go where the attention already is. For some newsletters, it might be Instagram. For others, it could be YouTube. Depends on your niche and where people are spending their time. A lot of times, though, the best place to acquire high-quality subscribers is from other newsletters. Advertising other newsletters will attract subs who already read newsletters, so they will engage at a much higher rate than someone who may not be receiving newsletters yet. The only problem with this source of traffic is that it's very hard to scale, as well as get consistent volume from them. That's why we built SmartLead. It has the quality of engaged newsletter subscribers, the consistency and volume of media buys on Facebook and Google. And now that you know where to get subs, let's talk about how to get people to actually sign up when you have them on your website. First, if you're buying media, you should take them to a simple landing page where they can submit their email and subscribe. Nothing fancy. Simple has always outperformed complex. Next, you should have a subscribe now pop-up that triggers when someone is on your site or reading an article for a specific amount of time, say 30 seconds, or they've scrolled halfway down the page. Make sure that this pop-up only displays the first time the user visits, and not on repeat visits at least every 30 days. And if they do subscribe, make sure they don't see the pop-up moving forward. Another option would be to include an inline subscription form in the middle or at the bottom of your content. Hook them with the content, then ask for the sign up. Now, you get a ton of organic or social traffic to your site. The key is to use behavioral intelligence to identify the best quality leads. This means tracking what people actually do, not just what they say they're interested in. For example, tools like Smart Pixel from Audience Grids let you capture visitor behavior so you can see who's reading what on your site. From there, you can match prospects to your ideal content based on intent signals. For example, if someone's reading 3 articles about email deliverability, that tells you exactly what they care about. If you want us to handle this for you, I'll drop a link below where you can book a free call with us. With all that being said, the most important part of building a newsletter is creating content that subscribers actually want to open and read. I'm going to just leave it there as far as the substance of your content, and I'm going to assume that you have that under control. You know your audience, and you've identified your voice. What we'll break down is how the subject line can influence who opens your email. You should keep them short, under 60 characters, because anything longer gets cut off on mobile. You want to make them curiosity driven, but avoid spam trigger words, which will get you filtered talked about before, free with the 3 exclamation marks. Also, test different formats to see what resonates. There are you-focused subject lines like your deliverability fixed in 5 minutes versus me-focused ones like how I hit 50% open rates. Some audiences respond better to one or the other. For example, my newsletter hits 60% plus open rates using 3 main subject line formats. First, leading with a clear outcome, not a clever tease. Readers open emails when they believe there's immediate value inside. Instead of being vague like, want to see this? Try 7 grocery items that just got cheaper. In crowded inboxes, specificity beats cleverness. Next, make it feel timely without being clickbait. Timeliness increases perceived urgency, and urgency increases opens. This doesn't mean use fake scarcity. It means anchoring your subject line to a moment like, before you book spring travel, or this week's best Costco deals. And thirdly, use pattern interrupts, but always stay on brand. Occasionally break your format. If you usually send this week's best Costco deals, try stop overcomplicating dinner. Now that you understand how subject lines works, what do you do when the subscriber actually opens the email? Before you get into optimizing your copy and structure, you need to identify your primary goal. Are you trying to drive traffic back to your website? Or are you trying to deliver value inside the email while driving clicks to advertisers? If your goal is website traffic, structure the email like a teaser. Use strong, benefit-driven, clickable headlines, short summaries that create open loops, and clear call to actions that push readers to read the full story. Keep content tight so curiosity drives the click. Your goal is to maximize advertiser engagement while delivering value in email. Provide more complete summaries so readers feel satisfied and trust the content. Then place native style sponsor blocks or contextual links where attention is the highest. In both cases, keep formatting clean, paragraphs short, headlines and images clickable, and design skimmable, because clarity and frictionless navigation are what ultimately drive engagement. Finally, it's time to dig into the money. How are we going to monetize without destroying the list? Most publishers leave money on the table because they only have one revenue stream. When I started, I was just running banner ads and hoping for the best. Now I layer multiple streams and newsletter ads through platforms like Beehive or LiveIntent, plus on-site revenue through AdSense and Taboola or Outbrain when people click through my website. For sponsorships, I learned the hard way that flat fee deals are better than affiliate deals. There's less risk on your end if the campaign underperforms. And when you land a sponsor, don't take the bait and overcommit to a long-term deal. Instead, start with a 2 to 3 email test run. This will allow you to see if your audience is a good fit before you lock into a long-term deal. If you want to send dedicated sponsor blasts, make sure you really take a hard look at that. Dedicated blasts are when you send your whole list an email that's purely a promotion from a sponsor. No other content, just their ad. It used to work great. With the state of email deliverability, it's gotten much harder than before. Now, what's happening is that inbox providers like Gmail and Yahoo have gotten much smarter. They now detect when the same sponsored email is being sent by multiple publishers. So if you and 50 other newsletters all blast the same sponsor's dedicated email with the same images and copy, Gmail notices and starts filtering all of them as spam. When that happens, everyone's deliverability tanks. Not just for that email, but it can hurt your center reputation overall. If you must send these dedicated emails, at least ask for unique copy and your own links from the advertiser so there is less chance of them getting fingerprinted. The safest way to monetize, though, is to natively integrate sponsor ads within your newsletter. Simply align the sponsor's message with the surrounding content so it feels like a natural extension of the reader's interest rather than an interruption. Match the tone and formatting of your editorial, clearly label it as sponsored for transparency, keep the copy benefit-driven and concise, and include a single, strong call to action. When the placement is contextually relevant and visually consistent, sponsored content earns attention instead of competing for it. Now that the money's coming in, make sure you're tracking the right metric, which is revenue per engaged subscriber, RPES. You calculate it by taking your in-email revenue plus your on-site revenue, AdSense, Taboola, things like that, and dividing that number by your 30-day clickers. For example, one of my newsletters, I'm getting 30 cents of revenue per clicker per month, which results in approximately $25,000 of revenue per month from just 82,000 engaged clickers. As a small newsletter generating $300,000 per year through programmatic ads without direct ad sales or sponsorship deals. To maximize this number, I can add sales and sponsorships to 3 or 4x the revenue. If that's the route you want to take, make sure to only partner with sponsors that actually fit your audience. If you're running a finance newsletter, promote finance tools and offers, not some random consumer product. By now, we have everything in place, so it's time to scale. Most publishers try to scale by just adding more subscribers, but that's the wrong approach. Instead, you want to build systems that get smarter over time. The foundation is segmenting to engage subscribers only. That's my base sending segment strategy. For a group of subscribers, you mail consistently based strictly on recent engagement. You're only going to send to people who have clicked in a certain amount of days, or open in a certain amount of days, or subscribe within a certain time period. This is a dynamic, engagement-driven control system to maximize reach while protecting your inbox health. Once you have your base sending segment established, you want to focus on re-engaging the right subscribers when they fall off the base sending segment. Most reactivation campaigns are just guesswork. You're emailing people who haven't opened in months, hope they come back. The better approach is to implement a complete reactivation strategy. When a subscriber falls out of the base sending segment, you pause regular sends and let them cool off for like 30-day period. After that, you trigger a 5 email reactivation sequence designed to win back engagement, sent on days 1, 3, 7, 15, and 30. Each message should escalate slightly in urgency or value, reminding them what they're missing, highlighting top content, or offering a strong reason to click. If they still don't open or click after the full sequence, they're moved to a dormant segment. From there, you can deploy smart reactivation that provide engagement signals when that subscriber is actively clicking in their inbox, trying to reactivate them when they are most engaged. If you want help building these systems that actually compound over time and implement the single loop approach, click the link in the description to get access to our newsletter, where I go a lot deeper how to do this stuff. And there you can also book a free call with us to talk through your specific situation, where we'll show you how to turn your existing traffic engaged subscribers at scale. Again, click that first link below to get started. Now see you in the next video.